It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll see the Boston Celtics playing against the Charlotte Hornets. Taking a look at the Hornets, they're not satisfied with the record over the last 10 games. Under 500 basketball, just not good enough. Looking to improve tonight. With the new year getting ramped up, teams just getting into the swing of things. Kenny, some major storylines already brewing. What are you seeing out there?
Well, you know, the rosters aren't coming together yet, and it's still early. It's still tough to figure it out. But then there's a lot of teams that's just off the radar right now, but they've been impressive. So I think that it's too early to tell. You know, too early to tell.
Hey, come on, you're going to give me an answer.
I can't give you these ELNs, these Ernie-like numbers yet. It's too early.
Well, I see emerging young guns. You know, I see a couple of veterans now hitting the wall, physically getting up there in age. But I got to agree with Kenny, Ernie. It's too early to tell.
Jeez, I'm sorry I asked. Time to tip it off. Here's Kevin Harlan.
You asked too early.
The John Hancock Tower rising above the bustling city of Boston and its tree-lined streets. It's the home of the Celtics here in Boston as 2K Sports brings you today's action live. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Alders is our sideline reporter. And also joining us on the sidelines, the league's most valuable player in 2004, Kevin Garnett. KG, it is great to have you with us.
Okay, how you been, man? It's good to see you,
Waiting for you to sit right here next to us. That's what I've been waiting for.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Can't wait to get inside your impressions of this game. It'll be a lot of fun. Well, it was the Charlotte Hornets winning their last game against the New York Knicks. Guys, kind of a battle there. They pulled out a 4-point win, though.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
I think, Greg, you can't expect to win with that kind of effort. The defense was nowhere to be found, and it cost them all night long.
So off the tip, it's Charlotte. So let's take a look at the Charlotte starting lineup. Inside, Williams at the 4, Howard in the middle. Jeremy Lamb out there with Carter Williams, and it's Batum in at the 3 slot. Irving with the steal, and here comes Hayward, leading the fast break. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. Hayward's got the opening basket of the game for the Celtics. Carter Williams dishes to Howard. Back to Carter Williams. And it's sent back by Horford. Batum against Hayward. Irving kicks to Horford. Here's Hayward. The jumper from the free throw line is good. Hayward's got his second bucket.
Well, the defense was there. Gordon Hayward just doesn't allow it to disrupt his focus. How good is this guy?
We've played just over a minute here in the first. Here's Batum. Nice teamwork to set up the pick play and make the space for the J. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
Which you did.
Which I did.
Yes.
And, you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. No, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. Can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together. You have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Free throw drops for Lamb. For Boston, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old.
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. You know, things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You know, you're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, you know, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. Carter Williams with it. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Williams a screen. Carter Williams the pass to Lamb. Here's Howard, and he uses the glass on the layup. Howard's got his first bucket of the night.
And Howard, always one of the top offensive rebounders in the league.
Back to Irving. Horford against Howard. Horford no luck.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
And KG, when you were bringing those greats together like you had in Boston, the intersection of you and Doc and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, all these guys together, everything was aligned.
But, you know, you got to go through something to be able to appreciate something. And I like to think that with the joining of myself and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce going to Boston, that we all had to have a journey up until that point and go through something and feel something and have something feel left out. We always achieved when we all came together. Awards, countless all-star achievements. But then when it came to total winning and what we all do this for, it was all vacant. And that's what we all shared. And we all shared the same appetite for that, Kev. And I'm telling you, man, when we all got together, we all knew never to let each other down. And we all gave each other 100%.
What a time.
Well, that's just about sheer effort from Al Horford. The defense made their presence felt, but Horford utilizes his length.
Howard with this screen on Hayward. Batum dishes to Howard. Can't hit the free throw line jump.
An obvious blunder by the defense that they get away with. Somebody's supposed to be checking him.
And KG, 2 decades later, you still look the same. You don't age. You do not. You do not age.
Man, listen, I wish I could use the Beyonce. I woke up like this, but actually I woke up like this and worked out some more and then worked out a little more to look like this.
You look terrific.
You look great too, man.
Thank you.
Man, what's the secrets, man?
I'm following you, watching your advice.
Yeah, right. You've been doing this way, man. Ken, what year is this for you? Seriously.
Take a break.
Broadcast in the NBA, 20 years and then 12 years with 2K.
You're a beast, man. You know what I love about 2K, man? They bring the best in for the best.
You
understand, my dude? Straight
well,
up.
That's why we've got you. But Kevin, you play this game a lot, don't you? Especially when you were young.
Man, listen, man. 2K is it, bro. Hey, there's no other games out here. This is what it is. If you play basketball, if you online, nobody's playing nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
2K is the cream of the crop. It's the gang. They know what it is. It's lit. They know what it is. Seriously, they ain't got to do this. They know.
And he misses the second one as well, so he is 0 for 2 that time. Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber and Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. But Batum brings length and a versatile game to his spot on the wing, and his defense always a big asset for this team. He's the kind of player that everybody needs to have out there, kind of a glue guy.
He misses the free throw. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lue, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who had been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. And stolen by Howard. Fast break now for Charlotte. And a wide open look for Lamb. The Hornets rebound. Howard kicks to Carter Williams. Over in the corner, Lamb. And the Hornets miss again.
Well, you have to like their work on the boards, Kevin, particularly here to start the game.
And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with my wife, and we all kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We have been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the Big Baby piece yet. And then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together, Eddie House. And then all of this. And
great names.
I mean,
great names.
Just all alphas. All guys able to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate and, all different facets and, very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that team there, I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Horford. Tatum comes in for Gordon Hayward.
What's up,
and Smart subbed in for Brown.
Very quietly, Irving is one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA and has been over the years.
And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, 2K is always live, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
They get it back. Howard up again. And at last, they get one to fall. And the Hornets lead by 3. Right side, Irving. Here's Baines. Foul on the play. Basket count, so it'll be a 3-point play chance. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against? Down low, we'll pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his
no kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards, and able to laterally slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
Charlotte trailing. Terry Rozier taken by the Celtics, 16th pick back in 2015. KG, some were surprised the Celtics had already some defensive-minded combo guards already in Avery Bradley and Marcus Smart, but they took Rozier.
I like him, though. No better guards to learn from, you know, with Smart and Avery, and man, to pass these Jews down to a young Rozier. Yes. Can you imagine, like, progression with this kid and that tenacity? You know, a lot of people don't know he has a little bit of offense to him too, but naturally defensive, you see the natural ability.
That's
right
his calling card right now, defense.
If I was him, I would lean on that.
Here's Smart. Jason Tatum picking up that last basket. Now here's Smart. His last outing, he had 8 points. And the basket by Rozier.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic, and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy, man. Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Olajuwon, Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about, because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
Here's Stone following the basket by Malik Monk. It's deflected, and he gets it back.
And they've come out with a take no prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
Now here's Smart. He's guarded closely. Goes to the reverse layup and traps it in. Smart's got his first points of the game. And so here's Charlotte trailing by 4. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
You know, Kev, I can tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us, because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. You know, if we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, that carried over to practice. Then we got 2 teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, you know, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here, to the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense. Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special, and that's how that felt.
Austin with the ball, following the score by Charlotte. Just a moment to look back at how things were last season for this team as we look at the shot breakdown for the Celtics.
And the three-pointer was their preferred weapon. It can be a risky strategy, but it's one that more and more teams have embraced over the years.
Gentlemen, 2 shots. Blue shot.
That's good from Rozier. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. 1:19 left to play in the first. Here's Stone. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Here's Kaminsky. And he overshot that one, missing.
Well, they've been playing some tough defense on him in this period, and it's starting to affect him. This guy's having trouble finding the target right now.
Monk, the pass to Stone. 46 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Just 5 to shoot. Puts one up from 19. The shot by Monk is no good.
He's obviously still trying to find the range. No success this quarter. You wonder what it would take to get him to pass the ball.
And they pick up 2. Here's Monk. He's coming off a 13-point game against New York. 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. Here's Stone. Here's Kaminsky. He dishes it to Monk. Missed it, even after all those chances. And here is Tatum. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. Celtics lead by 3. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And Dwight Howard, a lightning rod figure around the league, subject to a lot of criticism, but he says he takes comfort in playing the game he still loves.
Basketball, this is my passion. You know, on the court, it's my sanctuary. You know, I want to have fun. The reason I play is to win championships, and I take this game very seriously.
It's an interesting concept that Dwight has, to take something very seriously in order to have fun. He does say he has a burning passion to win a championship. He's been in the finals, and this is a guy that's got still a lot to shoot for, he feels, in his career.
It's a great point, Kevin. And the challenge for Dwight is how to balance how serious he is and how passionate he is with having that fun on the court that he's after.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And the Celtics guys, what jumps out to you stats-wise?
Well, already in the first period, they found ways to get this offense ramped up.
I think one key is they've controlled the tempo so far. And I know it's early, but it helps to have this kind of lead.
And Charlotte, looking at who they've got. Down low, it's Kaminsky and Zeller. Julian Stone is out there with Monk, and it's Bacon in at the small forward position. Here's Bacon. He picked up 12 points in their last win against New York. Nice pass in here by Charlotte. Zeller dishes to Stone. Can't tie it up as that one's no good. For the Celtics, they come into this one following a loss to Los Angeles. Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play? Or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You got a big smile on your face.
For the old school, Kev, you know, 82 games is how you got to come through it. This is, listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, you know. This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is, bro.
And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, give an understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. You capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it. So, hopefully it shows.
The Celtics have gotten off to a rough start here in the second quarter, going just 1 for 5. And KG, so great to see you. It takes me back. It really does.
A lot of people don't know, man. We got real original ties, man.
Back to the beginning.
95, man. My original man right here.
Here he was, man. You were a thrill a minute, I'll tell you that.
Man.
A thrill a minute.
Now look at us. 21 years later, dog. Man, can you believe
We're still
this?
standing.
We are. They haven't caught on yet. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Keep it to me.
Okay. The putback, great positioning on the putback.
Just in a perfect position to grab that rebound and then get the putback.
Hornets trail by 4. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout to Dex. Shout to Bug. Shout to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
A shot by Batum. No good. Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about I would love to play with Cole for a year or, got to, team, at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance. Wasn't it like a rumor at one time?
It was. My connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. It's what it was, but Cole,
you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything.
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even going to front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual, my boys, and we sit back and we watch the game. I'm loving the game.
Yeah. And the Celtics making a change here. Irving's checked in. The Hornets also with a sub. Howard's checked in. And he can't hit the second. Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star Week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star Week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host, regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city...
if you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
Here is Hayward following the three by Charlotte. Knocks it loose. It's stolen by Lamb. And here we go. Fast break. Carter Williams has got the ball. Offensive rebound. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here.
And inside is where Howard does the most damage, especially how he gets these calls.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now. Free throw good, Howard.
And Howard may be the most physically imposing player in the game today. His strength still sets him apart.
No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2.
And this is part of the reason they're down. The free throw line has not been kind to them this quarter.
Picked by Horford. Irving kicks to Hayward. Here's Horford. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. 7 points for Horford.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Baseline try. Rebounded by the Celtics. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing the last matchup with the Lakers.
And really, I thought what was the difference in that game? Offensive rebounding, or the lack thereof. A lot of one-and-dones in that game.
You know, if you're going to create more points, you need to create extra possessions. And getting wiped out on the boards kept that from happening.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets.
Well, I mean, he needs to talk to his guys. The interior defense has been horrific.
Absolutely no rim protection whatsoever. At this point, the other team is walking all over them on the inside.
Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, see, Webb was kind of... he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe. You know, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. You know, at the time I was a big who had handles. And if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. So you get the ball up to a guard and whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, you know, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off or showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh, my God.
But look at what happened,
bring the ball up.
And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the hack of Drummond, hack of Shaq, I mean, all this stuff. Heck, DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
And the first one at the line is good. And the Celtics making a change here. Yabusele's checked in. And a switch here also for Charlotte. Kaminsky is checked in for Cody Zeller. And he makes both free throws. Kevin, we know how hard the players work, the elite players work the hardest. We know the coaches work so hard. Everyone in that coaching staff, everyone wants the game called right. Is an added referee something that would help the game in any way, do you think?
More eyes on it.
We got 3 right now.
Listen, that's a lot,
that
man.
Is a lot.
And we're yelling at those 3. Listen, more eyes on the prize, if you will, so be it. It's just about how the game is. You want referees to be consistent. You want referees to also let the guys play a little bit. You know, that's just my preference. I'm not a league official, nor do I know flow and momentum. I'm just talking from a fan perspective and watching it. But, you know, as a player, you find things to complain about because that's what a player does when it comes to advantage versus disadvantage. But fourth ref, I don't think it would hurt. To me, it would be about how they were calling it.
Kevin, you were so successful jumping from high school to pros. What do you think about the current situation now, the age of 19, the minimum to go to the draft?
You know, I'm always be a fan of the younger kids being able to have the opportunity. I don't like when you put parameters. I could see if college was really teaching these kids and really giving them a solid situation to be able to have something to defer to. But, you know, these kids are not learning at the rate that you would like them to learn in college. And plus, they're not staying in college to these great institutions to be able to apply some of the things they're learning. So I just think that they need...
They're basketball players.
Well, they're basketball players, but they should have the opportunity to take advantage of if you're able to play at 17, 18 like I was. Not saying that every kid's going to have that, but you have obviously the D-League. You have all these multiple leagues throughout the world and where kids go to play. You know, some kids have missed out just because of that 1 year and some mishaps. And you sit here, you can say, you know, for business is good for this. Listen, the business is what it's going to be. We need to develop and have these kids be professionals more than anything. We need to grow these kids from a skill level and an appetite level. Our game was built off for one to be better than the ones that's come before us. You know what I'm saying? Lou Alcindor came in here. He was, a.k.a. obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was more encouraged to beat out Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell more than anything. And then that starts to trickle down from the effect of from Jordan wanting to be better than Larry Bird and Magic to Kobe wanting to be better than, you know, it's the same thing. It's being trickled down. And when I think of greatness, I think, you know, it's going to follow. It's going to be shadows, and at some point it's going to mimic.
Irving passes to Hayward. Got a piece of it. Here's Yabusele, and it's blocked.
And we haven't seen them be quite as aggressive driving the basketball, settling far too much for jumpers.
Stone kicks to Monk. He feeds it to Batum. But they get it back. Charlotte moving it around. The pass to Howard. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That one on Horford.
And really, Howard is so adept at drawing contact, using those bruising shoulders and muscular frame to his advantage.
This is his second trip to the line in this one.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low numbers.
That free throw, no good.
He does a great job of drawing contact and getting himself to the line, something he didn't do in the first period.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Boston. Smart comes in for Gordon Hayward. And a switch here also for Charlotte. Bacon, he's checked in for Nicholas Batum. And he's good on the second. So it's the Celtics now. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. This is their first chance this season playing Charlotte.
Yeah, and they came out with a W every time they played this squad last year. A stark contrast drawn between the conference's haves and have-nots.
Oh, Kevin, don't you love how unselfish Marcus Smart is? Sees the open man, whips the pass over in just the right amount of space.
Here's Stone. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Screen by Howard. Clock at 6. There's the triple. That's in, and the Celtic lead is cut back down again to 6 with the basket from Bacon.
And that was a real quick comeback there. Both sides showing some range.
Well, both teams are pulling the trigger right now, showing great confidence from behind that arc.
Great to have you with us, KG, and Lightning experience. Come back and join us sometime, okay?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it anytime.
You were terrific. You were terrific. You were great.
K-Hall, you always make me look good, man. Since 95, man. We've been doing this a long time, my dude.
Great to see you.
Thank you, dog.
And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm, and it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
And that's what you want to see. They're doing a good job getting points in the paint here in the second. While some are still speculating as to why Kyrie wanted out, the reality is, and it's this case with all great players, he feels like he's good enough to be the man on a team that can contend for a championship. And you might question how he went about it, but he's basically been a pro in his approach, and now he's got the chance.
That free throw good from Kyrie Irving.
And there is going to be a lot of discussion over Irving's decision to want out for a long time. And what he does the next few years may end up defining his legacy.
Oh!
Goodness.
And Monk doesn't fool around when he's driving. He's got room to go up for the finish there, and he just lifts off with power.
Passes it to Baines. And Bacon pulls it down.
Great contest by the defender, but that's a dunk you've got to put down in his face.
Here's Stone. Off the mark from 16 feet out. Irving. The shot, no good. And that concludes the first half. Boston on top. They're up by 7. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Thanks a lot. Kyrie, what were you all focusing on coming into the game tonight?
Come out with a intense focus and intensity that other teams can't match. Just doing whatever it takes to keep our tempo. Guys are in a great rhythm when we have a great tempo, so just trying to get everybody involved and do whatever it takes to win.
Well, we'll see if you can keep playing at your pace in the second half. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow right here on 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. This big mountain of a man is Shaquille O'Neal, and this hill of a man is Kenny the Jet Smith. Gordon Hayward has been all over the floor tonight. He had 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Taking a look at the Celtics, Shaq, what do you think?
I like their commitment to that inside game, boy. Get it inside to the post. Got to be scoring in the post, splashing to the basket. Just shoot the high percentage shot. No jumpers, no threes. They're being a more aggressive team, the more physical team. They're definitely going to win this game, Ernie.
Looking at Charlotte, Kenny, your thoughts?
Percentage-wise, they were in the low 30s. That's right, low 30s from beyond the arc. That won't get it done. Every team in the league now relies on some level of consistent production from the three-point line. But if you've dug yourself a hole and you aren't a three-point shooting team, that needs to change.
That's it for halftime, as the second half is just about to get underway.
Welcome back to Boston, the buildings of the financial district visible in all their glory. And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Really an incredible game from Gordon Hayward.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
You know, I think, Greg, they never settled for the first look. It was always about, let's get the best shot possible. Really good judgment on the offensive end.
Celtics leading by 7. Third quarter action getting rolling right now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. On the floor for Boston, Irving and Brown pair at the 1 and the 2. And it's Hayward, then there's Horford. And Brown over to help. And Lamb kicks to Batum. Williams has a screen for Carter Williams. 5 on the clock. Charlotte needs to get a shot off. Lets it go from the wing, and the shot is long.
Well, the defense trying to get out on him, but he's left with the open shot. He's got to make that one.
And Hayward with the stuff.
I'll tell you, he feels at ease taking just about any shot that becomes available. This guy, Gordon Hayward, has confidence at an all-time high.
Hayward against Batum. Here's Howard, and Howard with the stuff. That gives him a double-double in this one. 10 points and 13 rebounds.
I'll tell you, that's an assist that shows great sense for where his teammates want to move.
Horford with a screen on Carter Williams. Irving kicks to Horford. The tray, good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got 5 assists in the game.
Yeah, guys, that takes vision and timing to put it on time and on target.
Screen by Howard. Here's Carter Williams. Goes back up. Count it, and the Celtic lead has been cut down to just 8 points on the bucket from Howard.
And really an alert play on the glass there to get that second chance opportunity. He's having one of those games that we've really grown accustomed to seeing him put forth.
And he's back-to-back games like this. He is on a tear, competing with every ounce of energy he's got.
Here's Brown. Good D by Williams.
He operates well in traffic, but still, that's just a tough play to finish.
Here's Batum, and Hayward with the block.
Well, this is where Gordon Hayward has turned himself into a dependable two-way player. How good is he at using his length to turn away these shots? Boy, you think about the virtuoso ball handlers in NBA history. Kyrie Irving has got to rank at the top of that list. You know, his ability to dissect defenders, get into the lane, that is the foundation of his offensive game.
The first one falls, and the fans get their money's worth watching Irving. My goodness, Doris, he puts on a show.
Oh, he certainly does. He's got every move in the book. A devastating crossover, a little in and out dribble, the hesitation, the spin, the ability to stop on a dime and hit the pull-up. You don't ever know as a defender which way to go.
Both free throws good from Kyrie Irving.
Boy, just never a good idea to give this guy too many chances at the line. He's going to cash in.
Screen by Howard. And Lamb kicks to Howard. He scores his 6th bucket from the floor with that one. He's shot the ball 11 times.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Picked by Horford. Irving drives in.
And looking at this Charlotte roster, really the strength of it is their perimeter play. A good collection of dynamic playmakers and shooters from that point guard to small forward position. They are the bulk of this team's offensive threats.
For Boston, they have made 7 out of 9 when they've stepped to the line. Free throw, good, Irving. Both free throws good from Kyrie Irving. Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. Charlotte calls timeout. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
It's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game, and that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
A shot by Batum, no good.
Well, this is a tough night so far. They'd be smart to rely more on a couple of their other options. I don't think the defense is much of a factor there. He just botches the finish.
And Lamb kicks to Batum. And once again, off the mark by Charlotte.
I'll tell you, he's had a tough night. And if you're going to shake out of a slump, he is not going to do it with those kinds of shots.
Brown dishes to Irving. It's rebounded by Charlotte. Batum's got his third rebound on the night. A little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. Now Carter Williams. And it's sent back by Horford.
Well, how about the anticipation from Al Horford? Perfectly times the release, sends it back.
And Hayward gets it to go.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Batum passes to Howard. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Howard's got 16 points.
Boy, the score would look a lot different if his teammates could have had the kind of night he's had.
Irving against Carter Williams. Irving drives in. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Irving's got the lead up to 12 now for the Celtics. The Hornets have gone a somewhat subpar 4 of 10 on their shots in the second half so far. And Lamb kicks to Howard. They set the pick. The dish to Carter Williams. Charlotte moving it around. Feeds it to Howard. Gordon Hayward comes up with the rebound. Hayward's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Brown outside. Here's Irving. Pass to Horford. Excellent D from Howard.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Well, that's just stellar interior defense. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Carter Williams kicks to Howard. Back to Carter Williams. And stolen by Irving. Here's Hayward. And it's sent back by Howard.
Yeah, and shooters have to be cautious with Howard around. He has such a long reach that he easily blocks those kinds of shots.
Williams sets a screen for Batum. Back to Carter Williams. 6 to shoot. A floater. Rebound Boston. Hayward's got his 5th rebound in this one.
I'll tell you, if he keeps missing shots, it is going to be a tough night to try to trim this lead.
Yeah, sprinting end to end, but under control. That's the key.
No, exactly right, Greg. You can't go too fast. He pulled that off in brilliant fashion.
And the Hornets call time here. Doris, seems like every position on the floor is doing more multitasking these days. Asked to do more, play differently. So when you're thinking about guards, which do you think do the best job of generating offense, say, out of the post?
Well, the preeminent player that comes to mind is Dwayne Wade. And this is a guy who at his prime athletically was as good in the transition game as anybody in the history of the game. I know you had certain NBA analysts who have called him arguably one of the best two guards to ever play it. The current iteration of this guy is probably DeMar DeRozan, right? We talk about the loss of the mid-range. Well, DeMar DeRozan is excellent in the mid-range, and now they're starting to put him in the low post and let him use his size and his length to create a little fadeaway jump shot. Really pretty to watch and effective for any number of guards.
You nailed it. And the basket by Stone.
And being taller than most point guards, he puts that length to use. Example A right there.
Rozier kicks to Tatum. Pass to Smart. Off the pick. The shot that time not on target. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. Now here's Monk, guarded by Smart. Monk dishes to Stone. Pick by Zeller. Stone passes to Monk. Here's Zeller, and good work on the boards. They pick up the second chance points. Zeller's got his third bucket of the night. Now here's Smart. Defense is right there.
Yeah, clearly he had an established position there.
Charlotte making a switch here. Kaminsky's checked in. Here's Rozier. He's got 8. Kicks to Smart. Over Monk. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls.
Well, I'm not sure what the defense can do. I mean, Marcus Smart just nails a tough jumper with a defender in his grill.
Stone kicks to Monk. Takes the 3. That's in, and the Celtic lead is cut to just 9 on the basket from Bacon.
I'll tell you, somebody fell asleep because the defense was not paying any attention to him. That's a huge blunder.
Now here's Smart. Defense right on him. To the middle. Here's Rozier. Got a hand on it, and he gets it back. Just 5 on the clock. Baines dishes to Smart. Here's Tatum. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Smart's got 3 assists tonight.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
They set the pick. Here's Monk. Passes it to Kaminsky. Basket counts.
And you got to appreciate just the presence of mind there. Monk demonstrating solid court awareness by finding the open man.
Rozier kicks to Smart. Monk grabs the board. Monk's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. The offensive rebound. Stone got a piece of it. And the whistle stops gameplay. It's not a clean block shot. Instead, a shooting foul. And we'll see free throws coming up right here. First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
And at 78%, he's been a consistent shooter at the line for them all season long.
Gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good.
And how unique is this situation for the Celtics? I mean, one of the best teams in the league, and yet at the same time still drafting top picks. You know, the after effects of a trade with the Nets that quite honestly will go down as one of the league's all-time heights.
Yabusele, he's checked in for the Celtics. Good on both. And as the Nets struggle to rebuild without their draft picks, Greg, their losses have been Boston's gain.
Yeah, the rich get richer. I mean, meanwhile, the Celtics sign all-star caliber veterans like Al Horford and Gordon Hayward on the open market. And it's just rare for a team to have the best record in the conference and land the #1 overall pick.
Hornets trail by 8. Here's Stone. Picked by Zeller. Monk, the pass to Zeller. Nice pass in here by Charlotte. Dishes it to Monk. There's the pick. Zeller inside. Baines is there. Shot by Zeller, no good. Celtics leading by 8. Smart with the ball. He gives the team some steady offense, a bit under 10 points a game. The pass to Rozier. Back to Smart. Here's Baines. Rebounded by Kaminsky. Charlotte has gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Now, here's Monk. He has 6. There's 1:47 left here in the third quarter. Elbow shot is on the way. Charlotte getting another chance here.
Just a little hesitation on that release, right? His timing looked a bit off.
And slam dunk by Tatum.
And look at the focus. I mean, Tatum's not going to allow the defense to overwhelm him. Simply keeping his eyes on the bucket there and cashing in down low.
Here's Stone. The feed to Monk. He kicks to Kaminsky. Charlotte no good that time either. Boston leading by 10. .58 seconds left to play in the third. Tatum dishes to Smart. Picked off in midair. Here's Bacon. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Over Tatum, Bacon gets the bucket. Bacon's got 5 points in the quarter.
You know, one thing that has stood out tonight is his scoring. You know, he's kept attacking even when they've been trailing.
Here's Smart, and slam dunk by Smart.
You know, this is in part what makes Marcus Smart very dangerous, right? He can slice into the defense. He's got that remarkable speed to get where he wants.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Stone kicks to Kaminsky. Puts it up from 17. And Boston with the rebound. They've led by as many as 14 points. They'll be playing host to Toronto for the next one. That game will conclude a 3-game homestand. Rozier the pass to Tatum. Here's the screen. No good. And so it's the Boston Celtics with a 10-point lead. Some breathing room heading into the break. They're playing a bruising game inside, and it's working for them. Back to the action after this word. Three quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. Hornets trail by 10. And on the court for Charlotte as we start the fourth. Down low, it's Kaminsky and Zeller. Monk is out there with Julian Stone. And it's Bacon in at the 3 spot. Picked by Zeller. Shot clock at 5. Here's Monk. No good from outside. Celtics leading by 10. And here's Smart. Now Tatum. And Bacon pulls it down. Monk dishes to Stone. Monk with the ball. He feeds it to Kaminsky. Passes it to Monk. Picked by Zeller. Off the screen. Rebound Boston. Baines has got 9 rebounds now tonight. Now here's Smart. There's a screen. Down low. It's deflected. And it goes out of bounds. That one is off Zeller. And some changes here for the Celtics. Horford checked in for Yabusele. Hayward comes in for Tatum. And Kyrie Irving subbed in for Terry Rozier. Here's Irving. Banked in off the glass. Irving's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Celtics. Hornets trail by 12. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
The shot by Kaminsky. Nobody around. Charlotte no good that time either. Boston's gone 5 of 9 when they put up the three-point shot tonight. Outside Irving. He dishes it to Baines. Feeds it to Smart. In the corner, Horford with it. Three-pointer, Hayward. Not going to go that time. And Charlotte will come the other way.
He's cold from deep. 0 threes in the second half after hitting just 1 in the first. Check out that assist. You can tell a player who's seeing the whole floor very well.
Carter Williams against Irving. The dish to Smart. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3.
Boy, in the second half, just hitting a much higher percentage of his shots. Really looks composed now.
And at 6'4", 220, Marcus Smart with terrific strength for a combo guard, Greg.
I mean, he can just flat out bully most guards and even hold his own against the bigs. Beyond, though, that physical stature, it's his mentality that makes him special. He's a fire breather, just the type of player the Celtics look for.
And last season, Greg, one big issue for the Hornets was their bench.
And Charlotte tried their best to address that issue this past offseason. And it just goes to show that you need to have a complete roster to compete. A lot of games were given away by the Hornets last year by losing ground when the starters left the court.
The shot by Williams, no good. Celtics leading by 13. Howard with the steal. With the floater, and it's sent back by Irving. Hayward gets to Smart. Over Lamb. To the wing on the left. It's stolen by Carter Williams. Looking to get back on track here. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
2 shots. Foul. Elbow. 2.
One trend we've seen, Doris, is the shift away from one primary ball handler toward a more collective approach. Do you think that change is here to stay?
Well, it'll be interesting. I do think the NBA is very much a copycat league. So you think back to the 90s and the slow-down, grinded battles between the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks to now the pace and space offenses that is so much fun for us to watch. What's the next evolution? We saw the San Antonio Spurs play big. Is there a team that wants to reformulate the NBA, find success? As you know, everybody's trying to beat the champ, and right now the champ is all about pace and space and equal opportunity offense.
Indeed. Jaylen Brown's checked in for Marcus Smart. Carter Williams hits them both.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
Celtics leading by 11. Brown outside. Picked by Horford. Tice. He's guarded by Williams. And on the way from Irving for 3. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession. Hornets trail by 11. Charlotte calls timeout.
And the Celtics gave up 4 players to get 1 in Kyrie Irving, but they already had so much depth They could afford to sacrifice a bit for a superstar just entering his prime. Yeah, it looked like they tried to shoot their way out of the slump, and that didn't work. They got to go back and regroup.
Yeah, maybe a new approach, because what they're doing is not working. You're going to have to alter some things on the offensive end.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, I was able to listen in on what Steve Clifford had to say to his team. He said, "Do you want this game? Don't tell me about it. Show me and show your teammates. We've got to play better, and we've got to play harder if we're going to come back, guys."
Okay, David, thanks. Hayward against Batum. Hayward kicks to Irving. Pass to Horford. In the corner, it's Hayward. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. Horford's got 3 assists now in this one. Hornets trail by 14.
And really for the Celtics, just a wealth of assets, but in reality, only so much playing time to go around. Sooner or later, you knew they'd make a move, and I think they got the best player in the trade.
Brown, good. And the Celtics lead by 16.
And the combination of his quickness and soft touch around the rim really allows him to pull off shots like that. A lot of players don't have the reverse in their arsenal.
Here's Carter Williams. Pass to Lamb, expanding his range. Charlotte no good that time either. Celtics leading by 16. Hayward from outside, and the Celtics hit again from deep.
That gives him his second 3 of the half, with 3 total for the game.
Howard with a screen on Irving. Carter Williams kicks to Howard over Horford, misses off the right iron.
Boy, a little indecisive. I think he wanted to kick it out, changed his mind, and ended up missing.
From the arc, but they'll get another chance. On the wing, Irving. Dwight Howard pulls it in. Hornets trail by 19. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Hayward kicks to Irving. And it's sent back by Howard. To the paint, here's Horford. The shot's good. Brown making the play. And 12 points for Horford.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Picked by Williams. Carter Williams, the pass to Williams, and stolen by Horford. Batum against Hayward. The kick out to Brown over Lamb, and too long on the shot.
This shot's just, it's not there right now. With this team leading, perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
No good from Howard.
And they just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Greg, I think this other team is just in a zone right now. They're clicking on the offensive end, and the defense starting to look frustrated.
Here's Horford. Count it. Horford's got 4 this quarter. Charlotte has gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. And here's Irving. Inside, the kick out to Brown. It's up a 3. Count it. Number 5 from the floor this game. He's now 5 of 11.
They're getting a lot of their points outside the paint. 3 of their last 5 baskets are from three-point range.
And Batum kicks to Howard. Over Horford to stop the run. Rebound Boston. Horford's got 13 rebounds in the game. Class eating. Irving against Carter Williams. The shot's good from Irving.
Irving, one of those guys that will make a shot no matter how well you defend him. That's just how good he is.
Now Lamb. Howard with a screen on Brown. It's stolen by Brown. Outside Irving. Floats it up for Horford. And here's Brown outside. It's rebounded by Charlotte. And a fast break now for the Hornets. Carter Williams with the ball. And there's the call on Kyrie Irving. That's his first foul. On defense, Boston. Here in the fourth, they've allowed just 4 points. Screened by Howard. Looking to get back on track here. It's blocked. Doris, the revenue-generating streams for players these days, more endorsements, acting opportunities, event appearances, you name it. What impact do you think that has had on the evolution of guys wanting to play in big markets, big cities?
You know, I think the world is smaller, and so it's not necessarily a requirement to be in a large market in order to have some marketing success. You know, you look at any number of stars, even Russell Westbrook in Oklahoma City, he's pitching any number of major company because of the level of talent. So I think it's been a good thing. I think it really comes down to where are these players comfortable. It's much more about organization and opportunity to win than it is city.
Charlotte making some changes. Bacon, he's checked in for Lamb. And Julian Stone subbed in for Carter Williams. Bacon, the pass to Stone. An easy 2 points on the layup.
I know how popular threes are in the NBA, but boy, you can't do better than those quality looks in the low post.
Here's Larkin. Inside, they get a hand on it. And a fast break now for the Hornets. Here's Stone. Howard dishes to Stone. Kicks to Graham. Fires the three. Can't finish the one-handed jam.
Oh, not a good look there, guys. No one near him, and he still clangs one off the rim.
Number 3 overall back in 2016. Jaylen Brown with a powerful build on the wing, guys. 6'7", 233 pounds. I think you need those perimeter defenders who combine quickness and strength, and he's got it.
Two.
That free throw good from Brown. And Doris, coming out of Cal Burke, the knock on Brown was his shooting touch.
You know, there was such a wide variety of opinion on him in the draft. Some felt that he was a little bit of a reach, but this guy has shown promise and earning regular minutes and having some success with that three-pointer and athleticism.
And Brown drops them both. Doris, you went from the basketball court right to the broadcasting booth. Having seen the game now from an analyst perspective, what might you go back and tell Doris the player?
Yeah, I'd probably tell myself to throw myself completely into the vibe of the team, to never, even if I were struggling as a basketball player, to turn inward. I would always say turn outward to your teammates and invest in what's going on with the group, and then that seems to make everything fall into place.
And mentally, too, I think you've got to prepare and focus like you would as a player when you are broadcasting.
No question about it.
Tatum, he's checked in for the Celtics.
One shot.
And that one misses. And just a year ago, it seemed that things were set in place for Howard, playing for his hometown team. But in a surprise trade, he was moved out to Charlotte.
And there seems to be a lot of reasons for the trade. I mean, Howard wasn't the right fit in Atlanta. A team trying to get smaller and younger. Never easy to get traded from your hometown team.
And he gets it to go as they call the foul. He's on his way to the line for one more.
A physical basketball there, and in the best sense. A hard screen allows him to shake the defender and get to the bucket for the layup.
One shot.
The free throw drops for Stone.
I think, Kev, you look at the Celtics offense, not a lot of points in the paint or free throw attempts. They're very perimeter oriented.
Tatum kicks to Larkin. To the middle. It's tipped.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Celtics.
Not only did they shoot the ball better, but they had more assists.
Yeah, I thought the passing in terms of finding the open man gave them the higher percentage shots. The ball movement was key for the win.
And with this effort tonight, grabbing their 8th win of the year.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
And one of the league's top talents, game in and game out. And doing it here again in this one. A terrific night for Gordon Hayward.
He was extremely efficient offensively, got good looks, and really knocked down big shots all game long.
And Doris, if you're Brad Stevens in the Celtics, is that a focus, trying to get more going in the paint?
Well, I think they're going to play to their strengths, and right now that's probably shooting. But one thing they could look to be a little bit more aggressive with is their transition opportunities, because that could give them high percentage looks.
The first one falls. Cody Zeller's checked in for Dwight Howard. So he gets them both. And Boston has possession. Larkin kicks to Tatum. The shot that time not on target. And Charlotte will come the other way. Here's Stone. 17 seconds left in the fourth. Here's Larkin.
You know what? You've got to always be in control of your emotions.
Five seconds left in the game. And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
And, you know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when they are playing at their best. I mean, being here at home no doubt helps, and the execution was flawless.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
You know, I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. You know, just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. So long and good night, everyone.